Look at me. Don't quote protocol. Can you hold the connection or not? They're brute forcing this encryption. I can't hold the tunnel alone.
My chassis is meant for tactical assault, Ren, not network defense.
Looks expensive, right? You probably assume I shot that on a soundstage with a massive crew, a dedicated lighting department, and a budget that could probably buy a small car. But I didn't. I shot it right here, in this room, by myself, in an afternoon. If you're an actor right now, you are probably trapped in the most frustrating catch-22 in the industry. You know exactly what your casting type is. You know you can play the gritty detective, the sci-fi villain, or the period drama lead. But when casting directors look at your demo reel or your show reel, it's just two people sitting on a brown couch in a living room talking about their feelings. You can't get cast in the cool roles because you don't have footage. And you don't have the footage because no one has cast you in those roles yet. So today we are breaking that cycle. I'm going to show you why waiting for permission can destroy your potential career, and how to take control of your own footage and how that changes absolutely everything. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Andrew. I'm a working actor, a young adult fantasy author, and the founder of The Unbound Actor. On this channel, we talk about how to survive and thrive as a modern, multi-hyphenate creator, actor, without waiting for industry gatekeepers to hand you a permission slip. If that sounds like your kind of vibe, hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and let's get into it. Let's talk about your demo reel or your show reel. Well, firstly, let's define what is a demo reel. A lot has changed since COVID. A lot more technology has become part of our lives, and we are often asked to record this and tape for that. So I'm aware that some actors still sometimes confuse self-tapes with show reels. So a self-tape, essentially, it's an audition. You get asked to audition for a role, you need to tape the audition yourself at home against a blank wall, and you send that to the casting department for that production. That is a self-tape. A show reel, or a demo reel, is a collection of scenes showing you acting. This is your video CV or your video resume. This normally lives on your online acting profile or on your website or any other place you market yourself as an actor. Now, these can be scenes from anything that you have been in or anything you created yourself. The main idea behind a show reel is to show you performing, and doing so in a realistic environment. So for example, if a casting director is looking to cast a lawyer, you might just have a scene of you playing a lawyer on your reel. Then the casting director can see your performance, but also see how you look dressed in a suit, how you look inside a courtroom. If you realistically pull off that look and deliver a good performance, you stand a high chance of getting an audition. Now, the problem for many of us actors is that we simply don't have enough footage for our reel, or the footage we have is outdated, or we don't have footage of specific genres or character types that we'd like to go for. So, how do we get that footage which will be useful for us? Most actors treat their show reel or their demo reel like a passive lottery ticket. You do a student film for free. You wait 6 months. The director ghosts you. Or worse, you finally get the footage and the audio sounds like it was recorded inside a tin can, so you can't use it. Or you drop $1,000 on a demo reel service. You know, it's one of those companies you hire to shoot a custom scene for you. You show up, you perform a script they put together for you, and you leave with a scene that looks completely fine, but also totally forgettable. Here's the hard truth about this industry. People who make casting decisions often have little time for imagination. And I don't say that to be mean. I myself am also a producer, and I've been heavily involved in the casting process. I have made many casting decisions myself. People who are casting actors are often exhausted. They are watching 1,000 tapes a day, and they do not have the time to look at your domestic living room scene and imagine what you would look like as a cyberpunk hacker. You have to literally spoon feed it to them. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't get asked to audition for the cyberpunk hacker, but realistically, you are reducing your chances significantly. Remember that the first shortlist that you want to make is simply getting called in for the audition in the first place. Now, casting directors and producers often filter thousands of actors before asking a handful to even submit an audition. If you want to play a doctor on TV, you significantly increase your chances of getting called in if you have footage of you in scrubs, in a hospital, delivering medical jargon under pressure. But how do you get that if you don't have the budget to rent a hospital set, or a film crew to film you, or you haven't been cast in a medical drama yet? Well, we now live in an age where so much technology is available to us average people on the street that it is actually possible for you to create your own footage. Now is the time for actors. Most of us are already doing self-tapes, so we know the basics of filming with a phone camera, using basic lights, doing an edit, doing an upload, and with just a few more bits of technology added to that, you could be creating your own full-on scenes, even short films. AI has brought us some pretty scary stuff, but it's also brought us the means to take control of our own career, pretty much for the first time ever. We've all taken note of those people creating fake actors for their films, but what we seem to not see, what we seem to ignore, is the fact that AI has also now made virtual production a possibility for even us garden variety actors. Virtual production is something that Hollywood has done for years, where they film real actors but build a virtual 3D world around them. And I'm sure some of you have even tried simple things like, for example, recording yourself dropping in a fake backdrop behind you, but it looks fake. But the thing is, it doesn't have to. There are ways for you to drop yourself into a real scene, what looks like you are really in the scene, like the clip I showed you earlier of myself. Actors, this is our time, because technology now allows us to skip past many of the gatekeepers, make our own content. Good-looking, filmic, cinematic content. Before we talk about the technology, we have to talk about the craft. What actually goes into making a good scene for a demo reel or a show reel? Well, a good scene is not explosions. It's not a 10-minute monologue where you cry and scream. A great scene does three things very quickly. Number one, it establishes the world immediately through lighting and environment, so you don't need to explain to the viewer where you are or what you're doing. Number two, it shows you acting, but also reacting to someone else. Acting very often is reacting. A casting director also wants to see the gears turning in your head while the other person is speaking. And number three, it is grounded. You aren't playing a caricature. You are a real human being living inside heightened reality. For years, achieving those three things meant you had to hire a production company or be lucky enough to be cast in just the right thing. But the industry has shifted. The technology has been democratized, as I mentioned before, and we, the actors, now have the power. Look at me, don't quote protocol. Can you hold the connection or not? This is what virtual production looks like for the indie actor. You film yourself against a blank wall, you use virtual AI to generate a photorealistic environment, a spaceship or a ballroom, a prison cell, courtroom, whatever, and then you blend them together. You become your own studio. You wake up on a Tuesday, you decide you want to pitch yourself for a medical drama that's casting next month, and by dinner time, you have a cinematic scene ready to email to your agent, to send on to the casting department. I'm not going to bore you with a massive click-by-click software tutorial right now. If you want the exact blueprint, the lighting setups, the prompts, the editing workflow, that is exactly what I teach inside my masterclass called Unlimited Reels. I've put the link down in the description for those of you who are ready to actually put in the work and learn the system. But I want you to understand the mindset shift here. Whether you figure this out for yourself or whether you let me teach you how to do it, this principle remains. When you learn how to build your own sets, you stop being a passive element in this industry. You become an actor filmmaker. You become an actor creator. You take control. It's the exact same reason I sit down and write books. I'm currently doing the final rewrite on my young adult urban fantasy novel, Riftcaster. See, I wanted to play in a world of magic and ancient civilizations. I've always been fascinated by those things. And I always hoped to be cast in one of those types of films or TV shows, with archaeology and maps and puzzles, ancient history, things like that. But as actors, we often don't get the opportunities that we want, not from other people. So for me, instead of waiting for a network to cast me in a show like that, I just wrote the novel. I wrote the book myself. And now, using this exact same virtual production workflow that I teach in Unlimited Reels, I can generate the cinematic environments from my own novel and step inside them to shoot promotional trailers. It's a pretty cool party trick. And by the way, if you want to read the first 5 chapters of that book for free, there's a link for that in the description too. Look, actors, the days of begging for representation with a subpar reel are over, if you want them to be. The power is now in our hands, and it's just a shift of mindset. What I want you to take from this video is that you can make your own content, and you should be making your own content. The actors that will get ahead are the people who are doing this. Make any scene you want for your reel, film it from home and drop in the 3D world around you. Make short films, create actual scenes for social media, not just you against a blank wall. You don't need a massive budget anymore. You just need a camera phone, a couple of cheap lights, a bit of common software that we can all access, and the willingness to learn a new skill. Stop waiting for someone to give you the perfect role. Build the world yourself. Step into the frame. Force them to pay attention. All the links you need are down below in the description. Leave a comment and let me know, what is the one casting type you know you would crush, but you don't have the footage for it yet? Let's talk about it down there. Keep training, keep creating, and I'll see you in the next one.